I bought a Kindle. I know, I'm sorry. I'm still team real book, I swear, but Jeff got me, guys. He got me good. I will say the one silver lining about having this thing is that I got to read Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen, or LK Stephen. Great initials there. And if I'm gonna be completely honest, this book was this book changed my life. And I do not say that lightly. This video contains no spoilers, so the aliens blow up the planet. I'm just kidding. Let's get into the plot. Our Infinite Fates is a romantic fantasy told through the eyes of our main character, Evelyn, or whatever she's called in this incarnation. See, she's been reincarnated over and over again for centuries, and Arden, the person she inevitably falls in love with, hunts her down and unalives her in every single one, right before her 18th birthday. And that is what a healthy relationship looks like, folks. Every time one of them dies, so does the other, and then they're both reborn again somewhere else as someone else, and the cycle repeats again. Evelyn, and we as the reader, have no idea why Arden is hunting her, why she feels this pull towards him in every lifetime, or how they've lived so many lifetimes at all. But when staying alive until she's 18 will save the life of her dying sister, Evelyn has to somehow convince Arden not to hunt her down, while also trying not to fall in love with him again. Our Infinite Fates is a tragic, compelling story of mutual destruction, boundless love, and quite the tantalizing mystery that has a really shocking reveal at the end that I will not spoil, as much as I would like to. As for Laura's writing, I could not put this book down. It's one of those books that just makes you kind of sit back,
stare into the abyss,
and contemplate your life while also mourning the fact you're never going to get to read this book for the first time again. So thank you so very much for that, Laura. Seriously though, this book is stunning. I mean, on a technical level, the pacing is brilliant, the stakes and the tension are high throughout, the lighter moments are actually humorous, and the story is painfully believable. Personally, I like a fantasy set in our world and in the modern day. This book is often compared to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and I can really see why. The flashbacks to all of their past lives are a masterful plot device to make the reader sympathise with the character more, and it works because, oh my god, the one in the Siberian snow, if you know, you know, it's so gorgeous and so sad. I will admit that this book did make me cry, and only a handful of books have ever done that, so trust me when I say it is worth the read, and not just because I want someone to cry over it with. As for the more emotional side of things, Laura just gets it. She knows how to write about love, and considering love is like the main topic of so many books, you would think that would be a common thing, but it is seriously not. And I've sort of discovered that from reading this book, because a lot of the other books I have read now seem like mindless drivel in comparison. The way she describes not only romantic love, but also familial love is so tender and poignant, but also really realistic. It's filled with confusion and human complexity. Love isn't always easy, but it can be simple. If you love someone, that stays in your core, no matter how difficult things can get. One of my favourite quotes is when Arden says, let me just get to the page. Yeah, it's just not quite the same, is it? Without you, there would be no poetry. I would have only the harsh lens of my own worldview. I wouldn't be able to see the beauty of life because I only see it through your eyes. Muse is too simple a word for what you are to me. And then of course there's the phrase that carries on throughout the entirety of the book. I love you, and I have loved you, and I will love you. My heart can't handle this! Laura also portrays Evelyn's love of life so vividly, and it is such a stark comparison from Arden's point of view, as he clearly hates his cursed existence. He has to hurt the person that he loves over and over again, and yet he won't explain why, and he hates himself for both of those things. He hates that this is what their lives have become, and it's even more difficult for him because he's the only one that remembers why this is happening. Evelyn doesn't know the truth, and, you know, ignorance really is bliss because he is tormented. Evelyn and Arden's story really makes me think about how lucky we are to get to experience life and love, no matter how fleeting. Arden committed himself to this life of torment just because he loves Evelyn so much and he wants to spend time with her before the inevitable end. And as obviously tragic and sad as that sounds, I think any one of us who have felt a love that deep and guttural probably would have done the exact same thing. Speaking of Evelyn's love of life, there is a section in the book about small joys that I really wanted to talk about. I think I understood a long time ago that big joy and small joy are the same. It sounds trite, but it's true. Last year, I won a major tennis tournament and brought home a huge cash prize for my family. Big joy. Really, really big joy. But that victory felt no different to curling up in an old armchair with a faded blanket and reading my little sister a bedtime story. It felt no different to a perfect pot of coffee or a warm croissant fresh from the bakery. And so even when there's no big joy, even when it feels like we'll never leave this trench alive, there's still the small joy, a sunset, a flask of tea, your hand in mine. This speech is what this book is. At the centre of a story about two reincarnated people fueled by paranoia and the desire to be together is love and life and the love of life. I think it's really easy to go through life looking side to side and comparing what you have to what other people have. It's really common to question where you are, what you're doing, if you're on the right path, if you missed a turning. Situations can feel so big and stressful and all-consuming. And while I encourage you to keep your head up, to face those stressful things head on and not be apathetic about the rest of the world, I also encourage you to notice the small joys, to revel in them, to live in them, to remind yourself how fortunate you are to be able to have them at all. I, for one, have started going on walks, because that is apparently what happens when you reach your early 20s. But they truly bring me so much joy and bliss, although I did bump into a woman who had seen me a few times apparently, and she was like, walkers with no dogs. So now I feel weird and I feel like I should get a dog or something. But anyway, the point is that you deserve to do something every day that brings you joy, no matter how big that joy is. Thank you very much for watching this video, it really means a lot. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment if you have read Our Infinite Fates, I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you just have a book that you would like me to review. Say bye, Jeff. Bye. Just FYI, this is how I set up my shots.